Welcome to GA235 Corporate Identity. This is week 5, and this week we are going to discuss designing visual language elements of the brand identity. The objective for today is investigate the different elements of visual language in branding. Key terms and concepts: brand name, brand logo, signature design, trademark, color perception, color association, typography, taglines, functional benefits, and emotional benefits. Brand identity: the visual and verbal articulation of a brand as applied to a single product or service or an extended family of products or services, which includes all integrated graphic design applications. It is also called a visual identity or a corporate identity. As you can kind of see with this graphic, some companies make these kind of graphics, charts, things like that to just kind of encompass everything that they stand for and everything that's a part of their brand. And this is called an identity prism. And as you can see, it's for Nike. And it's got 6 major categories that kind of go around the whole Nike brand, right? We have the physique, the personality, the relationship, the culture, the reflection, the self-image. And within each one of those, they have little descriptors of each of the categories. For instance, like physique, it has product-oriented, comfortable, quality, and wide range of choices. So those are some kind of major keywords that all encompass what Nike is. It has a variety of different shoes. It's in basketball. They've got tennis shoes. They have all kinds of different ones. And they're adding more all the time. And one of the things Nike's known for too is comfort, so they have to ensure that comfort is a big part of their brand. And then it's always product orientated. So much goes into their product to make sure that they keep their status of being one of the top shoe brands in the world. As you can kind of see, for the personality of it, we'll just do the second one. You could feel free to read all the other ones, but as we look at this personality, it says sporty, unique, relates to emotion and speed, trendy, athletic. Nike's always trendy. It always has been. It's always been on the cutting edge of what's new. It's always unique. They have different types of products that you wouldn't necessarily expect. It is more of a sporty type of product, as you could tell too, as well. Athletic, kind of the same, similar kind of keyword. It relates to emotion and speed, or relates to motion, sorry, not emotion, but motion and speed. Hence their swoosh logo is a kind of like a good graphical representation of motion and speed and such, right? So you could go through and kind of, read some of these different types of keywords that relate to each of the different categories. But some companies, create this type of graphic, and they maybe hang this up in their buildings and such, just to kind of remind people that this is what they're all about. And it's a reminder to make sure that those are the main goals that they should strive for every time they start doing work on their product. So brand identity is the name, the logo, any sort of taglines that help kind of describe the company. Stationery, as you could kind of see up to the right here, all those printable types of materials that all your letters, business letters go on to other businesses and the public. They're always branded onto a letterhead that has the company logo and all that kind of good stuff that we've talked about. Business cards as well. Branded environment, signage, that could be their stores, any sort of signs that are out there in the public or on the stores, packaging of their products. And again, like we've talked about before, all of this stuff is consistent, right? The same colors are used, the same fonts are used, the same logo symbol is used, and it's not manipulated in any way. It's completely consistent. The main goals of brand identity would be memorable. You want people to remember them and always be able to recall it when they're at the point of purchasing. Be flexible. Possess a spirit that is appropriate for the brand and the audience. Express a meaningful message. Differentiate the brand from the competition, and be distinctive. Amazon logo here, as you notice, they were first selling books, right? But it seemed like, because they were selling books, they had a plan that they wanted to start selling more than just books and everything. And so, maybe at the time when they were selling books, you look at the logo and you're like, well, I don't know, I don't really see books in here. It doesn't really look like a logo for a bookstore, right? But as the company grew and they started to sell much more than books, in fact, everything, the logo started to make a little bit more sense to people. And there's a lot of cool things going on in this logo. And even though that it's really simple graphically, it means a lot, right? For instance, they sell a lot of things, right? Everything. So they sell everything from A to Z. So notice the arrow that's pointing from A all the way to Z. That's not just happenstance, that's a purposeful choice they made in the design. Whether or not we see that right away or not, it's still there. Also, too, take a look at the arrow. Looks like it's smiling, right? So it's almost like the logo is happy and smiling at you. Why? Because, it has everything that you could buy and it makes everything simple. So, in terms of these bullet points that are listed on this PowerPoint, you could kind of see how Amazon has kind of implemented these and made their design choices to reflect that of their company and, just overall positive message to their target audience, which also could be the target audience, A to Z, everybody. Naming a brand. A brand name is the verbal identity for a product, service, or group. As you can kind of see with some of these, they're really particular to get across the message of what that company does, right? LifeLock, right? Well, life and lock put together, it shows kind of security, secure your life and your personal belongings and such. Dunkin' Donuts. It's donuts. They sell donuts. They sell a little bit more than donuts now, but it's really clear in the name as what they do. It's interesting they have coffee, though, as their symbol as opposed to a donut, right? But Dunkin' could be the coffee. Some people dunk their donuts in coffee. Gorilla Glue. It's tough. The name Gorilla is tough, and to associate that with the product of glue, and glue needs to be tough. People want it tough. So, that's a good kind of reflective name of their product. Naming a brand. Founders, explanatory, expressive or inventive, allegorical or symbolic, and acronym. These are all different types of ways that companies can name their business, or people can name their business. So in the next part of this presentation, we're going to go through some examples of the different types of naming that conventions that a brand product company can have.